Hello and welcome to another episode of Last Orders. The market dropping early hours of this morning, as I warned about potentially happening at the beginning of the week. We had quite a choppy week, but as you can see, we have eventually dropped down. BTC in this range, we identified the range high at 23.8. We had that deviation last week back into the range, which is quite a bearish sign. We had a test of it on Monday. Dropped a little bit, come back, retested on Wednesday before finally, as I say, dropping early hours this morning. If we go to the 1 hour, you can see, oof, massive candle there, 1 a.m. Not too much of a reaction in terms of a bounce just yet either. So if we zoom out into the higher time frames, on Wednesday we had the candle, or Tuesday, it was the monthly candle close. The monthly candle closed as a doji, as you can see, only $6 between opening and close price. So opened at 23136 and closed at 23142. So literally after all that, we had a big range between 25.2 and 21.5. Tapped the monthly resistance 25.2, tapped the monthly support 21.5, and only closed $6 from where it opened, which is pretty crazy. So things to watch out for. As I warned last month, if we get a monthly close below 21.5k, that is very bearish, because it just means that this is just one big deviation of this monthly level, and we'll probably see us come all the way back down. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. If we knock it down to the weekly, again, not looking great, but we did do this last month and we bounced off 21.5k. So 21.5k does remain support until proven otherwise, and that 21.5k also lines up quite nicely with that daily range low as well. And if you just look left, you can see that's been a big level in the past as well. So if and when we get down to this 21.5k area, that is going to be a real big test, and we look set to come down there. I mean, as I say, clear range. We've deviated from the top, rejected, so range low is definitely the target. So if we take a look at ETH, similar example here. We deviated the range high, which was about 1650, 1670, tagged the monthly resistance, couldn't get past it, deviated back in, couple of tests before a drop, heading down to this range low down here about 1520. And once again, as I've warned before, like when we were down here, if this level breaks, then you're probably going to see quite a fast move down to about this 1340, 1350 area. So yeah, if we just quickly box that up, that is something to watch out for if we do drop. Obviously nothing guaranteed. There we go. And we'll just change that quickly to a daily. Happy days. So yeah, warned about this. We've entered a trade on this on the premium Earn While You Learn as well, which I'll talk a little bit about more in a second. But first of all, let's take a look at stablecoin dominance, having a nice bounce off of that weekly support, as we talked about on Monday. ES, which is the S&P futures, has had a very strange week. So we talked about coming down to this level here, which this weekly level at 3963, which was the start of this leg of the move back on the 23rd of Jan. We've hit that. We've bounced quite well. We talked about this daily level at 3936. So this whole area being a good bounce zone, because you got the weekly level and you got like that daily level as a safety net to bounce off. That's exactly what's happened. So far so good in terms of the weekly candle holding this as support. But that's obviously what has brought crypto down with it. So yeah, something to watch out for next week. Do we bounce, or is this just a hold of the level before we break? We'll have to wait and see. If this level does break, I see us coming down to around 3814 on the weekly time frame. But as I say, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is support until proven otherwise. The dollar, as we mentioned on Monday, at resistance. Although it's not breaking down as you might expect if you were bearish. As you can see, hit it, come back down, and sort of trying to basically accumulate below resistance. So we'll just have to wait and see. For now, this is resistance until proven otherwise, just as the S&P support is support until proven otherwise. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. As I mentioned at the beginning of the week, VeChain and ZIL potential selling / short opportunities. As you can see, VeChain deviated the monthly level at 0.028. So we had that big spike last month, closed below, and we had another little retest here, and we have broken down. If we go to the weekly, not looking great. And then the daily level I highlighted as well. It said basically once this 0.026 level gets broken, could be quite a fast move down, and that's exactly what we got. Unfortunately, as I say, the move happened in the Asian hours, so you know, if you're in the UK or US, you might not have being able to jump in waiting for the confirmation. But if you jumped in earlier, like on the monthly level, like we did on the Earn While You Learn and our Learning Crypto Premium, then you'd be in profits. ZIL, exactly the same really, apart from it's on a weekly time frame. So highlighted this weekly level of resistance. Again, you had this big deviation spike up here, getting people excited, FOMOing in. The weekly still end up closing in at weekly resistance, and you can see the rejection here. Go to the daily. We had that deviation as daily level at 0.034, got back inside, and then as I say, that meant, I said last week that if that happens, then it could mean that the weekly ends up closing at resistance, which is exactly what happened, and then we've broken down from there. Again, you got the opportunity to jump in on this confirmation here, so at 0.031, you got the daily close below. Again though, you'd have had to have been awake at sort of midnight, 1 o'clock to jump into that position. But if you jumped in early, then happy days, you'll be in profit. See this coming down to about, could easily see this coming down to 0.024, because this whole thing could just be a range, and this is classic stairs up, elevator down type stuff. So you do obviously have another level round about here, which you could stop at. But yeah, it looks like we could come all the way down, round trip this whole breakout, which will be interesting. So as I mentioned, on the Learning Crypto Premium, we have a program called the Earn While You Learn. I mentioned this last week where I showed you the results of our shorts. This week we have the same. We've got VeChain, again, as I mentioned on Monday. There's our profits. We also entered Ethereum. Again, same setup as I've highlighted on this YouTube channel on Monday, and we also entered AVAX as well as an additional trade. So you can see if I just bring the profits back up on the screen, yeah, they're not the biggest percentages, but that's because we only play with 2x leverage. It's very beginner friendly, and of course the most important thing is the trade setups, the entries and the exits. So that's what we do on the Earn While You Learn. Very beginner friendly, daily analysis Monday to Friday, showing you what I'm looking for, how I enter the trades, literally going onto the exchange, entering them. So literally walking your hand step by step and showing you these trade setups. And as I say, learning how to trade, it's not all about the fast paced action where you're making loads and loads of percentages every day, every week. It's about learning your process, and that's what we go through on the Earn While You Learn. So very sensible leverage, and showing you how to actually identify the trades so that you can trade for yourself and not rely on signals. So just a little shill there. Follow the link below, and we've got a 14-day free trial as well, so you can come in, check it out. If it's not for you, so be it. Nothing lost. So yeah, there we go, guys. Quite an entertaining week. We'll see what happens over the weekend and what we wake up to on Monday morning. A new week, some potential new opportunities. So as I say every Friday, don't spend your weekend watching the charts. Get out there, enjoy life. The charts will be here for you waiting on Monday when you get back. So enjoy your weekend, guys, and I'll catch up with you on Monday and go through everything you need to know for next week. So take care. See you then.